Let's get right into it. Number 10, date night at the dissection. Picture this. You're living in Renaissance Europe, and your date suggests a night out. But instead of dinner and a play, you're heading to watch a live dissection. Believe it or not, public dissections were the hottest ticket in town. These weren't just boring medical lectures. They were full-on performances. Entire anatomical theaters were built like mini coliseums, so everyone could get a good view of the action. And just like concerts today, these events had everything. Live music, elegant seating, and even snacks. The bodies they used were usually those of executed criminals. It was almost like the authorities were saying, "You thought the execution was the finale? Nope. There's an encore." One famous anatomist, Dr. René Valcour, was so dedicated to his craft that he even dissected his own deceased infant son in front of a live audience. These shows were so popular that artists like Michelangelo and Leonardo da Vinci would attend to sketch. And some of the most beautiful art in history was inspired by people watching bodies get carved up. This was considered high-class entertainment. Imagine whispering to your partner, "Oh, darling, shall we go see the new corpse getting dissected? I heard they're doing the intestines tonight." Number 9, the human hair jewelry craze. Imagine walking into your great-great-grandmother's jewelry box and finding a beautiful brooch made from human hair. Back in Victorian times, people weren't just wearing gold and diamonds. They were wearing the hair of their deceased relatives. It was a common way to remember loved ones who had passed away. And these weren't just random clumps of hair stuck inside a locket either. Skilled craftsmen would carefully clean the hair, sometimes even boiling it, then weave it into intricate patterns. They'd make flowers, geometric shapes, and even tiny landscapes, all from someone's actual hair. Queen Victoria herself was a huge fan of this trend. After her husband Albert died, she started wearing jewelry made from his hair. And of course, when the Queen does something, everyone else wants to copy it. But it wasn't just for the dead. Lovers would exchange locks of hair as tokens of affection. Some pieces even came with cheerful inscriptions like, "Remember, you must die." Apparently wearing someone's hair wasn't morbid enough on its own. Number 8, sewing your dinner. You're at a medieval feast, and suddenly the chef brings out what looks like a creature straight out of your nightmares. It's called a cockatrice, and it's what happens when you let medieval chefs play Dr. Frankenstein with their food. Picture this. The front half of a piglet sewn together with the back half of a chicken. They literally stitched different animals together to make new ones. This was fancy food for fancy people. The more bizarre your food looked, the more impressive you were as a host. They'd take needle and thread, carefully stitching the meats together, then roast the whole strange creation and cover it in gold foil. Apparently, just sewing animals together wasn't extravagant enough. They'd baste these food monsters with egg yolks and saffron to make them shine. It was as if they were trying to distract people from the fact that they were eating something that looked like it escaped from a medieval science experiment. And people really ate this. They sliced it up and served it like it was totally normal. Number 7, beauty was a black smile. Imagine walking down the street and seeing everyone with pitch black teeth. You'd probably think there was a zombie outbreak, but in ancient Japan, having black teeth was the height of fashion. They called it ohaguro, and women would carefully paint their teeth black using a special dye made from iron and natural ingredients. It wasn't just about beauty. It symbolized maturity and being ready for marriage. Meanwhile, over in England during Queen Elizabeth's time, black teeth were also common, though not intentionally. Sugar was so expensive that only the wealthy could afford it. With no dentists or toothbrushes, their teeth decayed and turned black. Instead of being embarrassed, they flaunted them. Black teeth became a status symbol, like wearing a luxury watch inside your mouth. Even Queen Elizabeth reportedly had teeth so black that foreign ambassadors wrote home about them. Poorer people would sometimes even paint their teeth black to look wealthy, like buying fake designer fashion, but for your smile. Number 6, renting a pineapple to look rich. Imagine being so desperate to look wealthy that you'd rent a fruit. That's exactly what people did in the 1700s. Back then, pineapples were the Lamborghinis of the fruit world. Exotic, rare, and wildly expensive, a single pineapple could cost the equivalent of thousands of dollars today. But here's the catch. People weren't even eating them. They were using them as centerpieces at dinner parties. Whole businesses sprang up offering pineapple rentals. Picture a host proudly displaying a pineapple at their feast, even though it had already made appearances at multiple parties across town. Guests might quietly whisper, "Wait, wasn't this the same pineapple at the Johnsons' party last week?" The obsession grew so extreme that pineapple designs popped up everywhere, on furniture, door knockers, bedposts, and even architecture. Number 5, all the toddlers wore dresses. Travel back to the 1800s and you'll see toddlers everywhere running around in little white dresses, boys included. This wasn't some strange fashion experiment. It was practical. When toddlers needed to go to the bathroom, dresses made the process quick and easy. No buttons, no trousers, no delays. When a boy was finally dressed in pants, it marked a huge milestone called breeching. Families sometimes even threw parties to celebrate the occasion. Some parents also believed dressing boys in gowns would protect them from evil spirits, as demons wouldn't be able to tell boys from girls. Apparently, supernatural beings were easily fooled by clothing. Number 4, the Jell-O dinner party. Imagine walking into a fancy dinner party in the 1950s and seeing an entire fish floating inside a wobbly dome of gelatin. This wasn't a prank. It was the height of culinary fashion. These savory gelatin creations, called aspics, were considered the Instagram-worthy food of their time. But don't picture strawberry Jell-O. Aspics were meat-flavored, holding everything from eggs to vegetables to whole chickens. Kings and nobles used them centuries earlier to show off wealth, but mid-20th century America pushed the idea into absurdity. Hot dogs in lime Jell-O. Tuna in orange Jell-O. If it was edible, someone tried suspending it inside gelatin. What started as a method of preserving food turned into an arms race of who could create the most outrageous, wobbly centerpiece. Number 3, the midnight wake-up party. Imagine waking up at 2 a.m., and instead of panicking about insomnia, you casually gather with your family in the living room. Before electricity and modern work schedules, people often practice segmented sleep. They'd go to bed around 9 p.m., sleep for 4 hours, then wake for a couple of hours before returning to sleep until morning. During this midnight interval, people read, prayed, did chores, or even socialized. Wealthier families used it for writing letters or deep conversations, while poorer families tended animals. Some used the time for romantic encounters, sneaking out to meet lovers in the dark streets. It was like medieval Tinder, except with more danger of stepping in horse manure. This all ended with the rise of factories. Industrial schedules forced workers to rise at dawn, pushing society into the single 8-hour sleep cycle we use today. Number 2, when kids ruled the church. In medieval Europe, December sometimes brought the boy bishop tradition. A choir boy would be chosen to wear the bishop's robes, mitre, staff, and all, and actually lead the church. This wasn't just a cute performance. For a short time, the child had real authority. He could lead processions, give blessings, even collect offerings from townspeople. His fellow choir boys dressed as priests and joined the fun. The tradition symbolized humility. The mighty humbled, the lowly exalted. Though some church leaders disapproved and tried to shut it down, the tradition remained wildly popular and spread across Europe for centuries. Number 1, wearing a wig to fight lice. Picture yourself as a wealthy nobleman in the 1700s. You've got power, status, and a scalp crawling with lice. These parasites were so common that even royalty constantly battled them. The solution? Shave your head bald, then wear a powdered wig. Wigs were stylish, but more importantly, they were practical. If lice infested them, you could simply boil the wig clean, something you couldn't exactly do with your real hair. Imagine sitting at dinner as Lord Pembroke casually remarks, "Ah yes, I've left my hair boiling in a pot back home." So next time you see an old portrait of a judge or aristocrat in a powdered wig, remember, it wasn't just fashion. It was a very itchy problem, cleverly solved. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe so you don't miss them.